Hey guys, Dr. Axe here. Welcome to Maximize Your Health. Today I want to talk about going gluten-free and ask you the question, should you be going gluten-free and why? Now for starters, gluten is a protein molecule, kind of a sticky protein that's found in wheat, rye, and barley, and some other grains. So wheat is, again, a protein molecule. And the reason it can cause problems is many people are allergic to it and it can be hard to digest. Now listen to these stats. 1 out of every 133 people have celiac disease, which means they do not digest gluten at all. And if those people eat gluten, they're going to have a severe allergic reaction. But that's not the only number, 1 in 130. You also have 1 out of every 7 people who are gluten intolerant, which means they're basically going to have allergic-like reactions to gluten. That's 1 out of 7. That's quite a few people. And really the numbers of people that don't digest gluten today, it's not just 1 in 7, it really is most people. And the reason being is most gluten isn't prepared properly. And so if you take a certain type of bread, let's say Ezekiel bread today, and you sprout and soak the grain, so sprouted breads like Ezekiel bread, gluten isn't as bad. In fact, when you sprout grains, it also kills off something called phytic acid. And phytic acid is found in most grains today, and it blocks vitamin and mineral absorption. So if you're eating any grain at all, any bread whatsoever, it should only be from sprouted grains. Now back to gluten here. Let me go over some side effects. If you are eating gluten and it's affecting you, here are some of the main side effects. Number 1, it can cause digestive problems like bloating and gas. Also it can cause stomach pains. A few other things it can cause depression. It's been linked to fatigue, it's been linked to brain fog, it's been linked to rashes, ulcers, and mouth sores. So there's a number of things that gluten can cause, a number of problems gluten can cause. Now the other thing I want to say is, again, gluten isn't the most terrible thing in the world for everybody if it's sprouted grain. Like Ezekiel bread, it's not as bad, but many people, even though it's Ezekiel bread, it's still going to create some health problems. Again, gluten is a protein that's very hard to digest. So listen to this, even professional athletes now are going gluten-free. Second-rate tennis player in the world, Novak Djokovic, decided he's going to go gluten-free. Reason being, he says that gluten causes inflammation and it's going to cause him not to be able to recover as fast and decrease athletic performance. Also, Team Garmin, one of the #1 cycling teams in the entire world, this team did the Tour de France, finished as one of the top teams. Their entire team decided to go gluten-free. That way they could recover faster from their cycling events. So whether you're a professional athlete or a stay-at-home mom feeding your kids or a businessman on the go, going gluten-free is a good option. Let me tell you what I personally do. I do not eat gluten very often. I would say I maybe have it every other week, or probably closer to once a month. And so I may have a piece of Ezekiel bread for butter, or a piece of Ezekiel bread and butter. I may have some sprouted tortilla grains. But again, I don't do a whole lot of gluten because I want to be at my very best. But if I do gluten, again, it's always sprouted. Now, here are some of the foods that you have to be careful because gluten is in almost everything. Again, gluten is in wheat. So if you are doing any wheat product like wheat bread, there's going to be gluten in there. Also, again, it's not only going to be in bread, you're going to find it in things, it's even starting to cross-pollinate, so it can be in things like oats, it's in ketchup, it's in mustard, it's in pasta sauces, it's in cold cut meats. Again, gluten is almost everywhere in our food supplies, and that's why you're starting to see more labels of gluten-free. I know at the P.F. Chang's, here recently, there was a gluten-free menu there. I see gluten-free. Again, you go to a health food store, even your typical grocery store, you're seeing these gluten-free menus. So here's my challenge to you. I challenge you to go gluten-free, unless you're doing some sprouted grains here and there. But again, go gluten-free as much as possible. It's not that hard. You'll see here, for an example, I still eat most of the things I love. For instance, I still eat pancakes, but I use a gluten-free pancake mix and some good gluten alternatives. If you're used to using white flour or wheat flour, which contain gluten, some good gluten-free options are bean flour. That's kind of the main ingredient here. It's got bean flour, also almond flour, coconut flour, Also, and some other natural, if you're trying to get some good carbohydrates, sweet potatoes, quinoa, brown rice, most rice products, rice flours, those are also gluten-free. So again, I challenge you to go gluten-free. Thanks for watching another episode of Maximize Your Health.